I guess, they have several areas of county road they didn't provide me the roads, but said there's a number of roads where there are issues, where they're having damage to their trucks, and they're asking if they just go to the highway department directly. To me, I think that they need to, what I was going to do, if it's okay with you, is send them a responsive email that simply said, give us the location, let the commissioners look at it, and then if you guys need to come to a meeting, you can do that, or whatever, but I think that before any work's done, you guys need to approve it. I don't think, nothing against you, I just don't think highway department can just.
We only have 3 routes they're allowed to run off the state highway, so,
Right.
I mean, and those are the
Those
same
roads
roads.
are damaged because of them. too.
Yeah, they're the ones that are doing it. It's, like I've stated before, when it was just the milk trucks and the feed trucks going in and out of these areas, we didn't have these issues. Once they started doubling and quadrupling loads on the manure, that's when the issues started arising.
Yeah.
That's why we're all sitting here and have been dealing with it for a little while now, and Brian and all them had to deal with it. The maintenance on it increased threefold because of what was being torn up by their trucks.
Yeah.
So I don't see any reason for us to have to pay damage to their trucks.
Yeah, and I think the idea is they want to address what parts of the road that they think need to be fixed. I said, well, that's fine, but the commissioners are the ones that have to make that call. So,
Right.
and then you guys can decide. So I'm just going to tell them that they can put together a list, and if they want to get on an agenda, they can.
That's fine. You guys good with
Well,
that?
that should be a pretty simple drive someday for us too, if we know the 3 routes and.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea where they're talking about, and are they just trying
It's
to?
the same route as the milk trucks,
Yeah,
right off the highway.
Yeah.
Well, the Freeland one comes off of.
off of 71. Well,
Not Freeland one, the, secondary.
yeah, but it comes in off 1080, so they're only actually running a mile,
Mile.
barely, into that area.
And one other point on this, and this might be, I don't know, Audrey left, but, they had also said in their records for the road use agreement, they only had a draft signed by them, not with our commissioners from last year. If you have a copy of that, can you forward that to me so I can send it to them? Because they just sent me one that's blank on our commissioner side that they haven't signed. So I told them I would ask about it. Sorry.
No,
That's all I got.
no, I'm glad you brought it up. Okay, so this includes everything that we have in community crossing for the full funds for this year, right?
Yes,
Okay,
that is just material.
okay.
So Evan, how many miles do you guys normally, you got down 83? That, a big year, have you done that many miles before?
Yeah, they bumped it up to 1.2, we could have turned it in, and usually it's just 1, so that is more roads than normal. But we should go here now. Most of it's maintenance sealed.
You'd said, I think when I was talking to you about that you guys normally shoot for like 2 loads, and then if we get behind, we may have to go to 3, is that right?
Yeah, it depends on our location. If we got a long stretch like the Gateway, and it takes 3, we can get 3 done. If we don't have to move, we should be able to get 3.
Okay. Just with all the crack sealing and everything, I would, when they get in their flow, it might be worth trying to do 3, as many times as you can, just so that way it gets you guys ahead, so then maybe we can get guys back out doing the other stuff, if it works out. And I think I talked to you about if we need to look at trying to sub out crack sealing or something, which we talked about that, but I don't think we ever came to any decision, because I don't know the payments, but.
Well, that's the thing where we need to just sit down and kind of go with, their daily deal and what they've got laid out and see what they can cover and what they can't. So, that's still a discussion. I mean, we'll still have, but, once we get closer. I guess so we know what his guys are capable of doing in a day's time.
Well, so we may need that input back from you, just because if we end up going that route, we don't wanna wait till
Right,
everybody's booked up, but,
right.
and it may be something that we don't need to do, but,
But he can get that together for us, so be fine.
Last thing I got is, I got a new quote for the new pickup that Mike put in the budget for
Okay.
Lynn. And he said be changing over there, so we need to get that.
Are we gonna get rid of anything?
I like to get rid of that. 2010, where it has Christmas lights all over the dash. We dropped one of our better ones down into the work use every day.
For all intents and purposes, it's still a really nice truck that'll bring value to somebody that'd like to bid on it.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll drop down, it's a 2010, I think, or 9, I think it's 9, and we got a 15 that we'll drop down to.
What did we have set for the pickup for this year? Was there a dollar amount, or was it just, it's time for our schedule to buy the truck? Okay. That was the only question
I
I
think
had.
Mike had in the budget a new dump truck and a new pickup.
Okay. Which I'm fine with. I didn't know if there was a set on it or,
And I'm supposed to get quotes from McAdeen and Freightliner.
okay.
For the dump truck, I thought.
Do you
And
guys have Freightliners too, or just,
Yeah, we got like 5 of them, 6 of them. But we've been, our last 1, 2, 3, 4th truck, we got 4 Maxes, and we got new bids from them, and that's what we.
and you've had good luck with these trucks as far as serviceability and longevity, or?
Yes, so far, we've had a couple recalls on them, just turn signal and stuff like that, but I think overall, the Max seems like a better truck. But we haven't-
Run out in the winter time's good on them as far as, okay.
We just haven't had a Freightliner, we haven't had any Freightliner.
Jeff was the last one in the Freightliner, wasn't he?
No, he was one of the first ones.
I mean, he was one of, yeah,
Yes.
I guess I said that wrong. And he's still in that truck.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Did you get a plow package on this?
Yes, sir. Yep. We got the file package, it's file camper package, yes.
So we got 1, 2, 7 trucks, right? Pickups?
Like 8, and one of them is, we got one from EMS, it's just a old Ford that we run out, if someone's loading at the county home, that's what they drive out there, it is not, it's an old Ford beater. And we don't take it out on the road or nothing, it's just a county home and back type thing.
I just get that if there's something we don't need, I think we should move it, so we're not paying insurance and all that on it.
Okay.
If they're, if you need them all, I get it, but.
The O2 is the one you're talking about, going ahead and getting rid of, if we go ahead and go to this one.
It was the 09.
Or 09, sorry.
Yes, it's an 09 crew cab.
Okay, cause you haven't O2 yet too, right?
Yes, we got.
02, 01, 09, 10, 21, 20, 15.
And the O2 and the other one's in better shape,
Yes.
okay. I don't have a problem with this, you guys wanna make a decision to go with it, or you good with it?
Yeah, I make a motion to accept it.
I'll second it.
All in favor signify by saying aye on the purchase of the new truck for the county highway department.
Aye.
Motion carried.
On the dump trucks, you guys building quads or triaxles?
$55,200.
This next one's just gonna be a tandem. The last one,
55,
we haven't
255.
had a tandem in a long time, so we decided to make this into a tandem. We usually only do triaxles, we don't do quads, that's just too high to use.
The truck you guys turned into a semi that's not that you're not using anymore, what's it used for now?
It is to pull a trailer,
You still pulling the Donnie or Bill Hitch trailers with it then?
yes,
Okay,
and then we got the semi for the drop that.
okay. Alright. Anything else?
That's it.
Thank you.
Good?
Good.
Thanks, Evan.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Get your water.
Go ahead and stick around for the bids.
Yeah, you can stick around for the bids.
Yeah.
Yeah, minutes in an open slot, what would anybody like to discuss? Jacob, you got anything for us?
I can give you some updates. We just spoke about the road use deal. I did have my staff begin the eviction documents for that property in Earl Park.
Okay.
I did receive so in order to do the gifting of that property, there's a resolution done on both sides.
Correct,
I saw the one from, Becky Goddard from
from Earl Park,
From Earl
with
Park.
representative.
I can't remember if we did one, and I was curious if you had a copy of it. If you don't, then I will make sure that gets done this week.
I was thinking it, yeah,
I just wanted to, and I think, you know what, now that I look, I think Audrey may have drafted this and sent me to review it, so it's been recorded. Okay. That answers my question.
okay.
Brian, I guess I have a question for you.
Okay.
I know at the end of the year, there was discussions about the $10,000 fines with, I don't know if it was Nextera
BP.
or BP.
BP,
And I know that there were some changes being done. I just didn't know whatever really happened with that, so I didn't want it to fall off the radar.
no, it was gonna get brought up today,
Okay.
and we can discuss that now, actually, we've got time.
Yeah, I didn't want it to get lost between transitions from commissioners, so I just wanted to pick up where we left off and.
To my understanding, they have still not followed through with
They have not.
anything, nobody has received any emails, or not received any paperwork on it.
Because I think they had sent, the last email I saw from Brian, they promised that it'd be in by the, I think the way they phrased it was after the holidays. So, to me, we're there now. I mean,
Right.
they were late before.
Correct.
So, at this point, I'm kind of inclined to say, hey, you had multiple deadlines, and I don't really know what the excuse would be at this point.
No, I don't either, I think we should move forward with the way things were set in motion to begin with.
Well, the excuse he's using is that we did not accept the bonds until, a year later, that they were going through a sale. And, we wanted to look how that sale was gonna go and see how it was gonna affect the bonds, and it did not, so then we approved the bonds. But per our ordinance, the study has to be every 5 years.
Every 5.
And that's what we're asking for right now, or that's what you guys are asking for is a study. And that's due in August. And they've had excuses.
Ever since then.
Yeah.
So they've had plenty of time in their time frame to get this done.
So permits are still shut down, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised that we haven't heard from them on that issue. But, okay. I will put together a letter this week and send that to them, saying that we're past the holidays and. So,
Appreciate that.
okay, I just didn't want that to fall off the radar.
Yeah, anything, whatever you get back, just have us.
Yeah, I'll
call it.
shoot it to you guys.
Yep. Sean Blood's emails.
And are you still going to be like a contracted consultant for that, Brian?
We'll get them through these get this, so they can understand the, decommissioning board.
I'll include you on the email.
It's fine.
I think that's all I have for now.
Okay.
I'll get the rest of the stuff done.
Anything else I have for you at the moment? Yeah, okay. The approval minutes. Make a motion to approve minutes as read.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Do you have minutes for that special meeting also? I might make a recommendation that you still have a tape from the special minutes. I'd make a recommendation to get that recorded on a hard drive. That's what I recommend the commissioners to do.
There's two here.
Just one of
Just
them.
one.
You wanna go ahead and do the updated capital improvement plan and the, purchasing ordinance amendment?
Okay, fine, I didn't bring anything.
Okay. Make a motion to, continue with the capital improvement plan as is and purchasing ordinance amendment.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Is there anybody here from Purdue Extension?
I have them.
Yeah, I'm tabling it until we get more information. They're gonna have to, they need to be contacted and we need to know what's going on. We're not getting the information back from them and there's too many things up in the air, so. They're gonna have to come to us with, exactly what their plans are for the future. I don't think it's right that the county writes a $52,000 check and we don't know where the money's going. Signatures for sharing contracts. Letitia, do we know any more on the appointment for the Auditor Library Board? That was tabled last month and I didn't know if there had been any changes on that, or if you know if there's been any changes on that.
No changes as far as I know.
Nothing yet to this point, okay,
I can send you information about it if you'd like me to.
okay,
That's the information that I have.
okay, thank you. Okay. We're gonna wait on the pay at once and payroll till after the drainage board meeting when we reopen. There's some questions.
Hey Evan, on this list of roads, is there any record of like when the last time was they were chipped and sealed where you kind of look at an average of,
That's back in the books on papers, that'd be, we have to go back, and we got it, but we have to go back to find it.
okay. But it'd be a pain, is what you're saying. So maybe something that we ought to add to the spreadsheet, just to keep track of,
They do track it now
their tracking it now, okay?
on Excel spreadsheets. When we started doing community crossings, I think when we started to ramp that up a little bit, then we also track it for, so you go back and finish wind farm.
I do have another thing, concerning the IT department. I don't think that was in those appointments, but Audrey Freeland agreed to stay on as our cybersecurity, liaison with Silverback, so that we'll work together on anything like that for our firewalls and, backbone and all that stuff for the IT department. Along with that, I'm talking with Tom and Tracy and, talking to you guys this last week. Like to have an in-house person that's on site, which is what we talked about. I spoke with Matt Hope, he's agreed to take it on. We came to a payment schedule for him for that, and then basically would be $200 per pay period, in his check throughout, the year. And that will be able to come out of the edit fund. And basically, we just need to make a motion and agree on that, so it's in the minutes.
I'll make a motion for that.
I'll second that.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Did you get Everhart's, email?
Yeah, I did. Okay, so let's discuss, yeah, we've got a couple minutes. Why don't you shine some light on that for us?
I wish I knew.
Because after reading that, I'm not sure where we stand at the moment, other than NIPSCO's not gonna do a thing until,
Why is that so hard to pick up? Yeah, it's somewhere lines got crossed and it got dropped. I don't know. Mike was supposed to talk to that guy from NIPSCO and get it scheduled, is what I understand, and then it never happened. Is the way I take it,
well, he left the day of the county highways Christmas party.
to go meet that guy, yeah.
Yeah,
Evidently, that guy didn't get it scheduled, so now we're back to, we have to call him and schedule it.
Everything's plumbed up, stubbed out, it's just have to bring the line in and hook it up. On that email, it looked, was making.
Well-
now they're talking about the difference between high pressure and low pressure, and Dave's not gonna hook his units up.
NIPSCO wants to
until-
go off that small meter there, which puts all the liability on us, which
I don't think
we
that's
don't want
right.
that. So either they've gotta dig further or redo that meter at that well house. I'm gonna call the guy and get his side of the story, cause I'm not real sure what's going on.
Okay. So you're gonna follow up with him then?
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, after reading that, I was like, boy. Cause we definitely need to get moving, and their scheduling them's kinda hard, I mean, with their,
And I've learned too, I didn't know about the three-phase there. You know anything about that?
Mike was handling that too. But they told him, I believe, that wouldn't be a problem bringing three-phase in.
Okay, so we need to get that.
This is a new building,
Mm-hmm.
what we even need three-phase there for?
Supposedly them air handlers.
Oh, well, okay, well, alright.
Yeah, it's cheaper to run.
It was cheaper to buy too, because it's three-phase,
Yeah.
instead of single-phase.
So, yeah, I just found out about that, so.
So now go back and just dealing with NIPSCO, so I can be,
Yeah, I mean, it's a 5-week wait.
maybe winter, maybe.
you may be wanting to work on air conditioning, forget about the heat.
Yeah.
Because that ain't gonna happen.
Right.
What's your thoughts, Matt, about digging there?
In that corner?
Anywhere in that whole area, the fairgrounds are a disaster.
around that old well house is a mess. I mean, the town of Boswell's told me, they said, we need to redo something here, we got lines going this way, this way, this way. I'm like, where are we gonna get water from this? Well, that's a good question, so. We tie in past where the 2-inch meter get, or the, whatever, 2-inch going across.
So that's still gotta get done yet too, right?
Yeah, then there's actually a water line that runs to the neighbor over there from that well house too.
Over to Sims's?
That's what the superintendent says, the town superintendent says, I don't,
Is there one running from there to the sale barn too? Are they on their own well?
I can't answer that, I don't know, yeah. I don't remember seeing a meter base there, but it's a mess around there.
What's the best way to get through that? Use your machine and,
Yeah, I mean, you just have to start backing it, you can't actually go in there and
that's what I'm
put it
saying.
in the ground, it'll be a mess.
Find them.
Oh, you'll find them for sure, yeah.
Well, it's not that far to dig as far as the gas line goes, but if we need to get a water line in there as well.
Yeah, I mean, we could almost dig straight to the west and tie into that existing line that goes up into the park or into the fairgrounds. And stay away from all that stuff around that well house. Put some valving in there or something like that. But I don't know what kind of line that is either. I don't know how good a shape that line is, or, you know, in 5 years, I'll be digging it back up and replacing it.
Was there an existing line, pre-existing line that went out, was there water in that, there was water in that building before, cause there was a kitchen in there, wasn't there?
Yes.
On the south end of the building or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bathrooms are on the north and
Bathrooms are on the north.
See, and I think they shut that down inside that building somewhere. I don't- The way Turner said it, it's just a mess outside the building.
Is the-
Morning.
The septic, is it stubbed in or out?
It's stubbed out to the east.
And what happens with it?
It's gotta do an install out there and do probably a absorption system in it. Up there. I think that's okay. We got these perimeter drains around it.
Okay, well, I'll get ahold of that guy in Mexico and see what the disconnect is.
Randy? How you doing?
Can't let go of it.
Yeah. Oh, that, you might talk to Charlie or Dan, they ran a bunch of new water lines up in the storm tunnel, they went clear that pump house or not,
Okay,
when they were in charge of their end.
alright.
And I believe they were told to map it, whether they did or not, I don't know.
Kinda like how we mapped the
Yeah,
rural park.
yeah, exactly. It's all right up there.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, 9:00, we can open the sealed bids for stone, fuel, and asphalt. We gotta put a real pad on that.
Put this up on stilts.
Make sure you keep the bids with the envelope. You're welcome. Oh, yeah, all right.
We have to read each one of these fully.
We'll just read it, who the bid is and what it's for. Yeah, the amount.
So just
This bid is from Petroleum Traders Corporation, Fort Wayne. $68,000 gallons of premium ultra low sulfur diesel, be $2.42 a gallon. 22,000 gallons of premium ultra low sulfur diesel dyed, be $2.42 a gallon.
come back to you. And then anything else on any of either these, just like insurance, stuff like that. Which I'm gonna open up those two and see whether they're all broken down.
Well, I guess let's open them and then we'll see how they're stated as well.
So it's him, we're just supposed to read all these off.
And then whoever you select, will have to make sure they have the non-pollution affidavit in the bond.
This one is from Keystone Cooperative out of Rensselaer. 68,000 gallons of premium diesel fuel on road. The 252. Premium diesel, oh, never mind, 232. A1 kerosene will be 289. Road diesel, no, it's 228. Then 22,000 gallons of off-road would be 233. And number one heater oil would be 290. 10,000 gallons of super unleaded ethanol gasoline would be 204. And that's for 87 octane.
Let's get these where we got that bid sheet up on top.
So, what diesel fuel did you have? You didn't have any? Okay,
They did 3 on averages for the
for roads,
auto oil.
probably.
Here, we might as well get,
Let's get the fuel
Yeah.
out of the way.
so from, Newton Oil, their 87 octane unleaded gas is 213. Off-road diesel, 225.
Okay,
Oh, excuse me, that was on-road. Off-road diesel is, same price, 225, doesn't matter.
and that's on transport price.
K1 kerosene is 308. And number one heating oil is 307.
Hey, Phil, typically we just take all the bids and revise it,
Okay.
then let Evan make a decision.
Oh, okay.
I'll second that.
Yeah, me too. That was awesome. Thanks for coming today, Brian.
Stone, and that's the only one
Then
for
I,
well.
well, and I have one here for Stone too, for Rogers Group, that's what.
Yeah, well, I don't know the binder, but I'm assuming that's what this is for, because those are all liquids.
We need to read this one off too. For Rogers Group,
Yeah, I need to read them all.
there's 2 pages.
But we can get this liquid stuff out of the way, right?
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Let's, from Asphalt Materials Inc. RS2 is $2.44 a gallon. AE90, $2.44 a gallon. AE150, $2.64 a gallon. AE200, $2.69 a gallon. AE300, $2.74 a gallon. AEPL is dust control oil, is $2.44 a gallon. And AE90S is $2.84 a gallon.
And who was that one from?
That's Asphalt Materials, and it also says they agree to furnish a 10,000-gallon portable storage tank with heating capabilities.
So I got one here from Bitmat. AE90 was 212.7. The AEPL dust control was 233.7. Desktop 206.7. And AE90 was 228.9, and they also had a 10,000-gallon tank.
John, S on that, 90S on, didn't that?
228.9. We're sending all this stuff back without it. You wanna just put that one with the other liquid? Actually, so now, we have not read these, do we need to do anything with those two?
Yes, we need to read those.
Milestone. We've got number 9 surface is $61. Number 11 surface is 63. Number 8 binder is 57. Number 9 binder is 60.50. Number 4 and 5 base 55.50. And number 8 and 9 base is 57. Reith and Riley, number 9 surface is 65. Number 11 is 69. Number 8 binder is 62. Number 9 binder is 64. 4 and 5 base is 60. They've got down high performance cold mix at $135 a ton, 2-ton minimum. Let's go back to Evan, right?
Rogers Group stone bid sheet for Benton County. Number 73 would be $8.25 a ton. Number 53 is $8.25 a ton. 53 and 2, which is otherwise known as super mix, is $9 a ton. Number 5s is $11.50 a ton. Number 2s is $10.50 a ton. Number 8s is $11.50 a ton. Number 9s is $12 a ton. Number 12s is $15.50 a ton. CA 16s out of Newton County, $14.25 a ton. Ballast out of Newton County is $17 a ton. Revetment riprap out of Newton is $18.50 a ton. 23 and 24 sand, which will come out of Interstate at West Lebanon, would be $8.75 a ton. Ice sand out of Interstate, $6 a ton. Indiana 23 sand would be $8.75 a ton. Fill sand, $6 a ton. Pea gravel, $11.25 a ton. And ag lime out of Newton is $15 a ton. And then CA 16s out of Interstate will be $12 a ton. Completes the opening bids. Evan?
I got to take them first, then she gets them to Michelle.
Okay.
You can make a motion that you'll take the bids under advisement.
Make a motion that we take the bids under advisement.
Second that.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, we got, 14 minutes. After the drainage board meeting. Oh, no, payroll, sorry.
I'll make a motion to accept payroll.
I'll second that. Favor?
What's in the boxes?
Those are business cards.
Yeah, you need to hand those out.
Wow, get that many? I don't even know that many people.
I have one box.
You're going to?
Oh, you will.
You can put some in your desk drawer.
Thank you.
She must be thinking you're gonna get reelected.
I need one of them tags like Matt has, so I can just walk around like this.
Yeah.
There you go. I got another one on my desk, yeah. So you don't lose it?
I guess.
Can Evan go now?
Yes, Evan, you can go.
Thank you.
Thanks, Evan.
Yep.
When John comes in, he will be asking for, they have a key card at the sheriff's department that they use for like dog food for their,
Yeah,
all that stuff. He's going to ask for an increase on it because they currently have an inmate that is in the hospital and needs 24 hours supervision by one of our jailers, so they've been doing shifts, but the jailers have not brought it to his attention until now that they have no way of getting food while card from the bank, and then until,
And once that's done, then where did that card go? Does it stay?
I mean, they'll have it, cause they'll have it to use anytime.
And what limits on it?
He's gonna ask for a $500 increase on it, and right now it's only 1,500. And they'll use it for,
This is just for food?
it'll be for, yes, when they're doing transports or when they're stuck at the hospital with inmates. He said it's happened probably 20 to 30 times within the last 2 years, and his correction officers have just recently pointed out.
And this is, which would be for the whole month, right?
Yes, the $500 increase,
And it's at 1,500 now?
but they use it for like, daily stuff as far as like the dog food,
Well, I seen
they do.
separate on the line, separate for that, so each deputy takes out to go get the dog food, or one person orders the dog food?
no,
or-
Nora usually orders it,
Okay.
that card stays in the office, they don't take that card out. That's why he's going to ask for an additional card.
Cops sure eat a lot, huh?
Tell me what I know.
Can't you just handcuff them to the bed instead of watching the
Yeah.
whole time?
Right. And to add on to that, cause I talked to Audrey to ask her how he would go about doing that or whatever. She said it'll take a while for him to get that additional card from the bank, because the bank will need to approve signed minutes for it. So if you guys approve the card, you can approve him to use our Visa travel card in that time until he gets his card. If it is necessary.
And how long is this inmate gonna be in the hospital?
I don't know the details on why or how long.
Is that something we can use a debit card for, or keep it separate so we don't raise the amount? If it's a
I mean,
rare
we can-
occurrence?
We could do like a reimbursement, like if they use their own money.
Yeah, I don't want
But-
to strap, we don't know, we can't determine what financial shape any of the employees are, so we can't ask them really do that. I mean, this is kind of going on, as John's assigning them to stay with the inmate, so it's work related.
I mean, how much are we spending right now? The 1,500, I'm not gonna cover it?
No, I mean, when I turned in, I just paid their Visa and it was almost $1,500. It should be,
But that was for covering it for the month,
yes,
not a week, a
no,
month.
it was the month, yes.
Okay, now, what's your guys' thoughts?
I'm
And we
just
gotta
saying,
take-
He'll ask you about it, so I was just giving you
Yeah.
a heads up.
I mean, I wanna make sure the employees are taken care of, they're
Yeah.
spending the time standing down there in the hospital, we all know how enjoyable that is being in the hospital.
I guess without knowing how long
Right, I
they've
get,
been there and how long they're gonna be there, you gotta eat.
yep,
Well, I mean, take care of them, but I hate raising the number, because then it's going to always elevate right to that number. Yeah, you can compare.
well, we'll just get a little more explanation out of it when it comes in, so we can clarify.
I also, so Extension turned in a claim for mileage, but it has Warren County mileage on it. And I was told that
Well, we
you
already,
needed to look at it and address it, because I thought we told them we weren't paying.
that was already determined in the last administration that the county is not paying for Warren County mileage. We can go to Warren County Extension and turn your mileage in.
And then as far as the library thing, you asked about it earlier.
For the appointment for Alderman, yeah, Letitia said she was gonna do some digging for us to we basically just need a member for us to appoint, correct? Is that,
Well, but Cindy Honiger, that's
Who the board wants.
right.
Who do you want, Ron?
yeah, who do you want?
Well, Tippecanoe County, at their meeting yesterday, approved Cindy Honiger.
Okay,
I was shocked when I was there and heard that, but I didn't, and Letitia explained to me that both counties put money into that, and Tippecanoe.
so is that position filled now then?
No.
Just Tippy appointed her.
No, it's a dual appointment, so both counties have to appoint. But there's information that has not been provided to you about Cindy Honiger's past term. She's already termed out, and there's some issues with that, but I'll forward all that.
And Tippy was aware of that when
Tiffany
they,
was not aware of it.
okay, well, we are going to wait.
The librarian, however, is aware of it.
Okay, alright. David,
Howdy.
Beth's gonna dig into it a little bit, Brian, but I had a question presented to me this morning. At the recycling and the annex, the recycling pays all the water and waste bills to the town of Fowler for the annex through their fund.
I thought, what does, Tiffany pay?
I don't know if they did anything, I have to look.
She's always complaining about they pay something.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, I mean, I guess my thoughts are, and you can tell us if I'm wrong, but recycling doesn't even have anything to do with that part of the building
I
anymore.
think what we looked at as it all comes out the same,
It's all that same pool?
pot at the end of the day.
Okay.
It all come out general fund.
Okay, alright. That's, I just wanted to know, it was brought forth to him. Okay. Okay,
Can I get a motion to close this meeting first?
yeah, I'll make a motion to close the commissioners meeting.
Second that.
In favor, signify by saying aye. Huh?
I wrote 8 and it's not.
Well, I don't know.
Sam Peters.
Yes.
I just know that, she was a teacher, that's about all I know. That's all. Yeah, I didn't realize this was my name.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Cows and pigs,
Yeah.
little corn.
We started as a county attorney last night for Lafayette County. Yeah, so, calculated seems like there's a lot of problems jumping all around. Got always good at work, has one of that. Keeping water rates and everything. Yeah, we got a big myself, yeah, they don't let you work out.
It's locked down.
Yeah.
Yes,
Cause they got a couple of rains on site right now. Well, they did.
Just
Go for it.
No, they phone up and just like 12 times.
I'll deliver it for you.
Sometimes it's barely covered, sometimes it's too much.
Yeah.
Did I get you enough?
Yeah, make sure you get a few on the way out, Dave.
Just take a box with you. That's full.
You can have stand out on the street corner out there, just hand them out.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I was up until about midnight.
Oh, no.
I have questions.
Okay.
Sam, whenever you're ready.
See, I didn't know how to read this.
Okay, so basically, you'll put your name and address, and it's an annual form that you'll fill out, and it's basically asking if there's any, vendors that the county pays out, that's what are.
Yeah.
And if not, just do put in a third, and then on this page, it's just explaining if you had any conflicts with any of the vendors, you explain that, because if you don't, you just sign a date.
Alright. Alright, this time we'll open up the drainage board meeting.
I'll go around and make a copy.
First thing we need to do for officers for 2025 is vote on the new president. I would like to nominate John Gick as the president of the drainage board.
I'll second that.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
I'll sleep again, then.
For vice president, I would like to nominate Sean White for the drainage board.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. I would like a motion to maintain Samantha Smith as the secretary for the drainage board.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. The attorney for the drainage board, I would like to retain Jacob Ayler.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The advertising paper will be the Benton Review.
I'll make a motion to keep him.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Okay, President, take over.
So what are we discussing?
There's one, did you get the email from Sam, regarding the claim for the Blutsball tile?
Yeah.
I guess,
That's not on this.
well,
But it's for Mike, right?
yeah, it's for Mike.
Yeah, there's the second one.
This is, my understanding, supposed to be broke down in the third, and a third. Is that correct or no? Has any part of the project, Mike, has any part of the project been started yet?
No,
Okay,
that's basically mobilization set up and, just materials mainly.
okay,
99% of it's materials on site.
okay.
And that's, I just put it in there per foot as installed, but that's just a place to put it because you guys had an itemized list out. As I install, we'll adjust that back.
I didn't know whether you guys did any pay at once anymore, but
Well, I did, and that's,
we're paying that out of the maintenance fund anyway.
okay.
I mean, that's the way it was bid and understood when we did the project. That our office will pay for the materials.
Well, I'll leave this up to you two guys. I have to abstain from this vote anyway. So you guys determine if you wanna do the pay at once and move forward with it.
So when you're saying pay at once, we're not, you're saying,
This will be the first installment. The contract is this, and this is basically the first installment that he's wanting so that he can get the
Yeah.
materials and everything else
so it's,
to get up. What's the start time on the project, Mike?
Could start as early as next week.
Okay,
Stays frozen like this. And normally on commercial projects, we incrementally bill every month. But, you know, like this one shouldn't be bad. I just want to get my money up front for the tile materials on site, because that'll be your materials and the project's materials. And then we can move for install after that.
You've got them all, right? That's what you said.
What's that?
Material on site, yeah.
Yeah,
You got
most
them all?
of it, yeah, there's,
Okay.
might be a little bit short, but it's what we bid.
stuff's done, right? We don't have to do anything with that today.
That's, yeah, that's the next one. Which was, there wasn't more to add to that after you guys met in the last meeting and everything was taken care of, the board, right?
We took some tile off of it, and talked to county about doing the ditch along.
So they are gonna do that part then, dip the ditch out instead of tiling up through there? Okay. When do you two guys feel it'd be best to meet with Newton County screening board members? And Sam said they have new members as well.
Is that the one you'd throw a date out of, like the 22nd?
No, that's for Main Street.
Okay. Are we wanting to do that in February? Push that out to the next month?
I know they changed, I want to say they changed their commissioner and drainage board to Wednesdays.
Is there any way we could do it on a commissioner, after the commissioners meeting on a Tuesday in February? The reason I ask that is because Sean's got certain scheduled days he's off.
Yeah, if we can do that, whatever day's gonna work out for me then.
I'll email her and see if they want those days.
Who are the new members up there? You don't know.
So we have a meeting
Sam?
here before, if you're talking after that.
Probably after.
For some reason I've heard that.
Sam or Paul?
Paul, that's what I meant, Paul.
Yeah, I can make it before, I'll have to go in at night, so as long as we do it.
Yeah, it'll probably be right after.
Perfect.
As long as that works. I think they moved theirs to Wednesdays. No big issues in the past trying to get. I'll choose them.
What do you guys need from us?
Randy,
No,
yeah, he just wanted to introduce himself
okay.
and I've worked with Randy in the past. Randy has done, our section corner. And, the council, for 2 years now, haven't put any money towards section corner.
Can you tell me what that is? What you're talking about?
Well, by law, we're supposed to have our section corners done. Of course, that was supposed to have been about, 40 years ago, and it's never been done, and the council had given us I'd requested $50,000 to do a township at a time. Well, for 2 years now, they haven't, given me my request. There is a fund that, every time a piece of property is sold, it goes, a portion of it goes to to that, cornerstone, perpetuation. And that's just to keep things updated for surveys and all that, so. Anyway, Randy has always done that for me in the winter time when, there's not crops and stuff, so.
Is there any grants that we can apply for to go towards that?
No.
Back originally, it was an unfunded mandate for a long time, and then the Surveyor Society got involved and said, hey, some of the bigger counties like Indianapolis, they have all those deeds come through and the money would go to, so they established, the fund would be able to fund itself to do the work, which is required. And it was only $1, and then we realized that's not gonna do anything for us, especially in the more agricultural rural areas, so we raised it to $5. We were able to legislation get it to $5. That did not really make a dent in, I mean, how many deeds are transferred here in this county? You know, 100, 200? And so, in 1965, they established the requirement, the mandatory requirement that every year we do at least 5% section corners, so that in 20 years, which would have been 1985, it would all be done. But a lot of counties didn't fund it, they didn't do anything about it. And, so of the 92 counties, probably about, 70% of the counties have got it done. We're making good progress here. One of the problems is that we had here is when the windmill people came in, they just tore out the corners. And so I've got to do a lot more work just to reset that corner. And that corner controls all the land. If you want to do a project, if you want to do a division of the land, it's actually a national monument that's been, the authority's been transferred to the state, which has then been transferred to your county. So it's an absolute mandatory thing we have to do.
So when, hold on a minute, so when you're talking about they tore out those corners, was there a marker there and they
Yeah.
tore the marker out?
Yeah.
And that wasn't put in, that it was to be put back, and there was,
Now, they have, the windmills have a fund that sometimes the money comes out of, that reimburses when they do a project like that. And, there was some preliminary survey work done, for the windmill companies. I didn't do it. And I've got that data, and that does help. But actually, originally it was a wood post, and then in, 1888, the Supreme Court judge said, hey, we're gonna put stones there. And so now there's actually a stone down under the ground, and it's got an X or some point of the stone. And sometimes it has an actual scribing on it, like southward corner, northward corner, northeast, things like that. When they do get taken out, our job is to reset that in the correct location, so it doesn't affect any of the property owners in the four, sections that adjoin it. And then we witness it with some monuments on the side, so if this gets tore out again, then those things can reset it. Furthermore, when we do it now, we put a state claim corbin on it, so that if all of it gets wiped out, we can put those reference corners and the actual section corner back within about 1/100 of an inch. So that's kind of where we're at today with what that program requires. And, we've been working on it township to town, we've got maybe 3 or 4 of them done. When we do a drainage project, like we just finished in Durrell, what we try to do is get all the section corners along there, so that, because the ditch has to, the centerline description has to be referenced to those section corners, so that you can replat it out and reestablish it. So, that's my discussion on the section corner.
so Dave, the council was providing you with $50,000 up to 2 years ago. Was there a scope of work, a timeline that had to be done for them to continue to fund it the next year? Did they ask for how much had been completed out of that 50,000 then determined, or was it just?
Well, it was just determined that we would try to do like a township at a time.
So what do we think our total cost is gonna be to finish it, be done?
Oh, I don't know, $500,000.
Yeah, maybe, probably less, because as we do the drainage projects, we can get a swipe of them, or a swath of them, if you will.
So what's the penalty for not having it done?
Well, there isn't any, we've already
must not
been
be
in the
Must be the,
But a lot of them have been done through, previous surveyors, but they weren't done correctly, right, Randy?
That's correct. A lot of miners aren't even there. We've had some of the old work said that there was a point there, there's not a point there.
In fact, on, one of those windmill projects, the guys that the windmills hired, they were, what, how many feet off?
Oh, yeah, 11 feet off. Yeah, the guy was out at Illinois and didn't realize that we're in Indiana. Well, the state planning coordinates are based on zones. There's two zones in Indiana, the east zone and the west zone. And there's also, then there's an east zone in Illinois, and he was using the east zone in Illinois and the west zone in Indiana. You kinda gotta know what you're doing. It's really, this is really important, because if anybody wants to do, any development, they've gotta tie into those corners. And if they're not there, it raises the cost of development. If somebody wants to cut off a house, let's say if you have a house, you're gonna cut off the house and sell the farm ground, or vice versa, you have to have those sections on. It's imperative for that. It's not work that I go seeking out, it's not work that any surveyor really seeks out. It's almost kinda like a service for me to do it, because, I mean, I gotta take time off of doing site developments and surveys and stuff to do this, but I know that we have to do this, and we do it all over the state. Some counties have gotten completely done. Probably maybe 50%, 60%. One of the things I'm gonna talk to you about later, after this, is about creating a drainage ordinance that will help with that too, I think. So, the drainage board does not control the section 4 perpetuation, the county surveyor does. He just has to appropriate the funds, and that's through the council, not even through the commissioners. But it's always, the county surveyor and the drainage board work hand in hand, they're part and parcel, they have to work together. Like we do a lot of, they will have to do a regulated drain, and, you know, we have to work with you, and we go through that whole process. I don't know if you're familiar with that whole process of a legal ditch project, regulated drain, legal ditch project, but, it can get a little bit hairy once in a while, the rules and the statutes, but that's what we're here to, you know, I'm here to help you, Dave. He's probably just a phone call away. Ryan, so, and Jacob's getting to know the statutes pretty well.
So if you're the one that handles the funding, we really don't have anything any input in that at all, right?
Well, not actually, but I want you guys to be involved, you know, I mean. That's the main thing, is working together.
This is my time to talk about a couple other things too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. One of the
That's
things,
up to those.
one of the things that I was working with the last commissioners and drainage board, I'm gonna give you cards since you guys. Here's the handout too.
Yeah, you want a box of them?
Here's just a list of the things that I'm sorry, that I was kind of working on, you know, currently. So this is kind of just a little bit of an update. We're finishing up the Durrell regulated drain. It's a joint project with Newton County. We're getting all the bills in and paying all the bills. The last thing I need to do is, I've been working with Bo, the county surveyor up there, who's not a registered surveyor, but he's the county surveyor. I've got to create a legal description, a new legal description, and tie it into the section corners, but it's got to go into their county. And I was talking to Dave about it, about how far I've got to go into their county, and I'm just going to take it to the first branch. Regulated drains have to have a legal description to show what you guys' responsibility is, and what your responsibility is, where it stops and where it starts. And they don't even know in Newton County where Bowden, whatever you want to call it, Bottom, Boughton starts and begins. They don't have anything. so, and our description is vague in itself, so I've gotta read, almost every regulated drain we do, we gotta do a new legal description, so that it shows, hey, this is where we start, this is where we stop. In this particular instance, their regulated drain, they don't have a legal description, so really, it's not even regulated in some sections, which I think is absolutely insane, because how can you have a regulated drain flow into an unregulated drain that is owned and operated by the property owner, and then flowing back into a regulated drain? It needs to have continuity. It needs to be from A to B and it's covered in. What that means is, there's a watershed that when a drop of water hits it, goes into that drain, and that's the regulated drain area, and the description describes where that drain goes to and starts and stops, and that shows what your authority is. If it's outside that limit, then you don't have any authority. So, you know, there's private drains, there are, regulated drains, and the difference, and there's also another type of drain that you guys can administer, but you don't have any authority over. You don't have any authority over private drains. You only have authority, this drainage board only has authority over regulated drains. And, he's got a map downstairs that shows what they're at. And, so.
Well, we chose to, just take it to the state line,
To the county line.
or,
Yeah, and
Well,
Bo asked me to take it a little bit farther because they're assessing it, because this is a joint board. You guys will have joint boards with every county eventually on a regulated drain. So, I'm not going too far into their county, that's for sure. You know, I'm gonna take up that
well,
first
that's what
branch
we
and quit.
went to.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but they have to have that legal description to show what the area is, so then you guys can then assess those people for that particular area. So that's how it's done, and that's part of what, Brian and I have been working on, and Samantha especially, her and I have been working on for about a year, which we're to the place now, and I'm glad Brian's here, is we are required to do what's called a long-range assets management plan. What that means is, we have a list of every drain in the county. And then we also have to show, is it under maintenance? Then we have to say, does it need vacated? Does it need reconstructed? Or does it need maintenance? Once we get that inventory, it's like a road inventory that you guys are gonna deal with. This is the ditch and open ditches and tile inventory. From there, we can then make a master plan that says, okay, look, we're gonna do this drain this year, this drain this year, this drain this year, this drain this year. So you can plan out what you're gonna do for the next 4 years or the next 8 years or whatever. And Brian and I and Samantha and Dave have been working on that for about the last year. And I'm to the place now in this project, in this master plan, if you will, that we need to figure out, I gotta do one of two things. Either I've got to go and visit every one of those tiles and drains and make my own opinion of it, or we can send out a letter, which is what Brian suggested, to 4 or 5 or 6 of the larger landowners and say, can you give us your opinion? Can you give us your opinion of the status of that drain? You know, is it functioning pretty well? Does it need cleaned out? Is it not used anymore? All that, and then we'll put that in that master sheet, and once we get all that data, we can then decide how we're going to, approach repairing the drains, because that's what the drainage board does. So, you know,
I'll be back.
oh, he comes back.
I gotta go upstairs.
Yeah, so that's what the long-range management asset plan does, and I'm to the place now that we've gotta make a decision on, do you guys want me to go visit every single ditch, every single tile, and make my recommendation and put it in there? Or do we wanna try to send out a letter, like Brian said, let's just take, 4, 5, 6, or 7 ditches at a time, and write some letters to them and say, you know, please give us your input of what you know the status of that drain is. You guys can mull that over for a month or two until we, you know, it's not in a big hurry, but we do need to continue working on this so that we can meet the statute, and then you guys can have a plan on what you wanna do. In the meantime, if somebody brings a ditch to petition, they bring a petition saying, you know, some of us landowners want this ditch repaired, that's when we start the process. It comes to you guys make a determination, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do this, you have a hearing, I go out and do some survey work and make some probable costs, bring it back to a hearing, we have the hearing, we discuss it with the landowners, you guys make a decision, and if the decision is to go, then we put it out for bids, we start that process. We do the construction of it, finish it up by, doing a final assessment, which Sam and I are doing right now on the ground. And, then it gets taken to the auditor and assessor, and they assess people, per a ratio of, you know, by percentage of acreage that you own inside this watershed. And so, that's kind of what that's all about. And then the last thing that Dave and I wanted to talk to you about is for 4, 5, or 6 years, I've been trying to get the time for the drainage board to allow us to create a drainage ordinance. You don't have a drainage ordinance. And what that means is, if someone comes in with a development, say, it's a Kmart, or it's a gas station, or it's a CAFO, or it's a windmill, or it's whatever development it is, it's a large residential subdivision. Right now, you don't have any engineering or surveying company like mine that reviews it and makes sure that they have done it properly, and if they're following the proper steps, making sure they do their federal permits, their state permits, their local permits, make sure their calculations are correct, make sure it meets what our standards are and what we want it to do, including working on tiles and ditches. One of the problems we have is a lot of people just do what they want. And the drainage ordinance sets those regulations. Now, the good thing about the drainage ordinance is, let's say a project comes in and somebody wants to do a subdivision or wants to do a gas station. They have to follow the rules, submit the plans, they have to pay for the costs, so that the drainage board doesn't have any cost for the review. They have to pay for their review. If it's reviewed properly, then it comes back to the drainage board, and you guys say, yeah, upon the recommendations of our consultant, we will accept this drainage plan, and then the plan commission would issue the permits. But right now, you guys don't have anything, it's kind of up to Dave, or sometimes they just do it themselves, without any regard to engineering or surveying standards and principles. Almost every county in the state has one, probably 95, 98%. We just haven't had the chance to do it, and we need to do that. And the good thing is, like I said, is we set the ordinance, which is kind of similar across the state. There's variances between real urban sites and real rural sites, you know, because they have a different philosophy on how to drain things, and they have a better infrastructure.
And that would only be like on a residential development or something like that. That's
Or
not
commercial, residential or commercial.
Ag would be exempt.
What do you mean? They have to tell me.
So if farmer's wanting to go out and do work on his field, he's not gonna be subject to having to have reviews and all that stuff.
What do you, okay, I gotta pin you down for just a second, John. What do you mean? You mean if he wants to tile it and dump it into a tile?
Yeah.
The current statutes today require them to do that. The current statutes today require them to do that. So, in effect, your answer is no. This ordinance would not do that, because there is currently state laws that say that, if a farmer or a contractor wants to tile that field and dump it into a tile, they just go and do it. They're not allowed to, they have to come before the drainage board, they have to come before you guys. Now, there's a reason for that.
Does it have to be a county tile for that to happen?
It has to be
or-
regulated, yes. If they dump into a regulated tile, they're required to come before you. Now, a lot of them don't. They should, and the reason is, in fact, we had a lawsuit here. What was the name of that tile that the guy put? The sheets, that's what it was. The sheets, there's a perfect example. There's a 14-inch tile running up, and the lower end guy puts in a 14, 2 10s, and an 8 into that 14-inch tile. It created a surcharge so that the upstream could not drain, and the ground settled, and there's a big hole there. And so there was a big fight. And so in the middle of the court hearing, I just asked him, I said, you know, can you show me where you went to the drainage board and ask permission to tie into this tile? Well, no, we didn't do that. That's the reason why. Is there capacity for that tile to accept more? And there's lots of calculations that we go through. We have all this hydraulic analysis that we go through. And then on an open ditch, if you're gonna tie into it, there are things like making sure that the ditch is, you know, what if you put, it's the same thing, it's about capacity, and there's some design standards that go where you enter into the ditch, like you gotta make sure that you backfill, that you may have to have energy dissipators. In other words, sticking a big tile out there and dumping it into the ditch may cause an erosion problem there, downstream, or across on the bank. And it's just a matter of following the standards that's been developed.
Well, the main thing
Yeah.
is we need to establish something like that, so it's recorded and, you know, we never turned anybody down for, you know, looking into
Yeah.
regulated ground.
Well, I guess,
It's nice to have it recorded and
right,
we have records of what went on and.
I understand that, but I have a question too, with going along with this. Matt, when you and Kathy are doing permits, when you have something like this come in, when you're doing the layout for what they are proposing, does any of what you guys do on your permits have anything to do with drainage or any of that?
Well, on bigger projects like dairies and stuff like that, they have a drainage plan, it's been engineered and.
They all have to be reviewed, correct? I mean, you guys review them before the
It
project
goes in front of
goes
the planning commission, in front of.
from the drainage board.
Everybody, yes.
Yeah. And that's the problem is, I had this happen in, Bartholomew County. It came in, the drainage board thought they could do it. The engineering company did it, cut a lot of corners and caused problems, and there was a lawsuit. And, the drainage board was held responsible, because which one of you guys is a professional engineer or a professional surveyor? Well, none of you are. None of you guys are qualified, and so what happens is it places liability on the county and you individually, because you guys approved it. Even though an engineer or surveyor may have designed that site, your job as a drainage board is to make sure. Now, sometimes it's that fast, and sometimes you gotta say, give me your drainage calculations. Did you guys check to see if there's capacity? You know, do you guys have an easement going from here across this guy's property? I had a college that put a tile across the guy's property, and the guy said, what do you mean? What are you doing going across my property? There's no easement, I didn't give you an easement. Because the outlet was over here, and the college just thought they could do it. Those are the kind of things that gets caught. And that's what drainage ordinance does. Now, what it does is, we would prepare it for you guys. You guys would have a hearing and take comments on it, and then decide if you guys wanna have the ordinance or not. But Dave and I were working on that, and Brian has been wanting to work on it for 4 years now.
So Mike, I got a question for you. Does this affect you at all? Does any of this sound like a pain in the butt to you?
Everything he says is a pain in the butt to us, but you know, that's legal stuff too. You know,
I just don't know how
that
often
part.
we get into that as far as regulated tiles or whatever. Just dumping into a ditch, even if the ditch is under maintenance, then does that put that guy back, has to come in and have permission to dump into the ditch?
Well, legally, it's supposed to.
Yeah, the current statutes require that now. The problem is, you get a good contractor, usually you don't have to worry about it. You give them the specifications, hey, don't forget to really compact your soil at the top of the bank, and make sure your outlet, if it needs an energy dissipation, that means a couple pieces of paper, or a notification to him, and Dave says, hey, make sure you do this, this, and this. But there are other contractors who are not as scrupulous, that they go through there and they just slam it in. And next thing you know, we got erosion at the top of the bank and all that dirt goes in the ditch. Next thing you know, we gotta do a reconstruction on the ditch. There are contractors who do what they want. There are farmers who do what they want. It's just a matter of what you guys wanna do. If you guys don't wanna do the drainage ordinance, then you live with what you got. So that's something you guys can think about.
Go ahead.
Getting away from the tile part, back to the commercial part, commercial development, what's the state, permitting? Do they have anything to do with that when the center drawings, do they go to the state first for commercial
No.
to be reviewed or anything? Is
No,
that-
they are, it's total drainage board. This is, these three guys right here.
Okay.
Total drainage board. Unless it goes into the, a Corps of Engineers regulated drain.
They do design releases and stuff like that.
Yeah, they'll do a quick release, but the engineering, if it goes into like, the Iroquois River or the Wabash River, then the Corps of Engineers gets involved. We were starting to work on a project called Sugar. Sam, did we ever develop a watershed for that, the Sugar? Sugar Creek?
Yeah. We started,
Yeah,
we have a lot of stuff.
okay, yeah. We were at, one of the main drains in this county, there's like four of them. One of them, the last one we talked about, Ryan, was the Sugar, and we were trying to develop a watershed so that then we can then have a hearing, so that then we can then do a reconstruction project. And then that, something like that goes through, what's called an SEA review, not the state. The Corps of Engineers, IDM, IDNR, and Fish and Wildlife all get to make their comments. And then we have to comply with their rules, and put them inside the county if you work on a Corps of Engineers regulated drain, which the Sugar would be. Anything 10 miles or over, or has a certain amount of acreage, or is interjurisdictional, which would be between Indiana and Illinois. So we have to be a little careful on those. We gotta cross our T's and dot our I's on those. But it doesn't scare us, just doing the applications and doing the work right. Those are the things I wanted to talk to you guys about, that I'm trying to work on, and I need to see if you guys wanna continue on those. If not, then I need to know. Cornerstone's obviously is Dave's bailiwick, but with you guys, the drainage ordinance, long range plan, we're finishing up the Durrell. Oh, the other one that's on there is the Siemens. We had a what drainage project was it, that two guys came in here on the Siemens, and they said, well, we're here for the Siemens hearing. Well, it wasn't the Siemens hearing, and so, the drainage board said, well, let's take a look at it. So I started taking a look at it, got a little bit involved, and all of a sudden we realized they hadn't filed a petition. So we stopped. And I need to get that telephone number and that guy's name again, I keep forgetting his name, to say, are you guys gonna file a petition? Do you want this thing done or not? Because I was telling the previous drainage board, it's probably the worst ditch in the county. It's just collapsed in. I was shocked when I went down to it, so, right now, it's not in your court until those guys file that petition. And so I need to call that guy, what's the guy's name?
Well, Alan, it's right here,
It's on the sub, it's down south.
right here. It's a huge watershed.
Yeah.
And that other one that we were discussing, Durrell and all
Yeah, it's
that,
up in there.
it's up here,
Yeah.
York Township.
Yeah,
Just-
been on that.
Show them where the
South of
sugar,
Rob.
show them where the sugar runs from the beginning all the way through the,
Well,
county.
Sugar
It starts clear
Up
over
here.
there.
is up in Illinois.
Yeah.
Dumps into the Iroquois.
Yeah, so those are the things that I'm working on, we just need to let you guys aware of them, and then, we can go from there.
Good to know.
We appreciate your time and
Yeah.
thanks for coming in and meeting with us today.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
Good seeing you, I gotta talk to you too sometime. Alright.
thank you.
I gotta carry everything out too one of these days. Great. Well, I've been trying to calm that guy down, that's hard to do. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, Pat, how are you, man?
You guys have-
Hey, January so far?
So are we ready to close?
Yeah.
How about to close the meeting?
I'll be right back.
That reminds me of that commercial that, are you sure, Andrew? Well, that doesn't have anything on it.
That's the one I want you to have.
It says, are you, Vistaprint sure?
You.
Yeah, we sent him $2,000. Did you get any, John?
What, cards?
They all is.
I think they're all his, I don't know.
I don't think, bills aren't in yet, did Nicole order something for you?
I think
So
Jim.
how's everything on the north end of the neighborhood?
Not bad.
Oh, good. Are you glad as I was not to see all that snow?
Oh, no, 1,000.
Because you know, out there where we live, it just should blow shut and we're
I
done.
think I'll write my name on it, cause I've got
It
your phone
wouldn't
number
be
on my
terrible
cards
if we got
anyway.
snowed in for a couple days, but.
There you go. Yeah, my wife, yeah, works down at
Hey,
Purdue.
thank you, man.
They allow them, like, when it's treacherous travel to log in from home at work, right? So she was like, all pumps, and I'm like, yeah, you're a pump, but you're not the one that's standing out here on 41, because I got semis, they can't drive on ice, you know? So, I can go with 3 or 4 inches, cause that's not bad. And when they were talking about that high stuff, I'm like,
There's supposed to be something.
yeah, you know, it looks like it may be the same track. And poor Chad Evans, I love him. And he was, when you go back and look what he said in the beginning, it moved a little further south, but we got close to what he said.
Yep.
And he felt bad. And he, you know, you can tell by his blog, he's like, hey, man, you know, I'm not those other weather services.
Yep.
How's family? Good? Good, good. We got, our youngest, is going through driver's ed right now, so she turned 16 in January, so 90 days lookout world after that. Yesterday, we had some interstate driving practice. That was nerve-wracking.
What's on emergency?
She's, doing good, Julie doing good, mom and dad are good.
Good.
Mike, Dave and Tamara's over in Europe with Mitchell. And so, yeah, Mike's just not the traveler. He likes the USA terra firma. He's not listening. And I'm not either. Although I'm going to Alaska, although that's part of the US. Because Julie's son, our first married, my stepson Josh, got married last year. And he is, he graduated from Purdue ROTC, and he's a nurse in the Air Force. So he's based in Anchorage, so in May, we're gonna take a trip up there, and I'm a big train fan, so I'm gonna jump on that train that goes up to Denali. Yeah, so we're,
Train trip, we went on a cruise up there. So that was
oh, that's
pretty
cool. Did you like it okay? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just, not much, I'm a home guy.
Alright, make a motion to reopen the commissioners meeting. Jason Fisher, come see us.
I have my list fairly quick. So every year we typically approve holidays for events and my ones there since they work shift work. And that's kind of sort of a budget savings thing, but that also allows us to pay those that are looking at holidays. We don't do every county holiday because of the cost. And so those are the ones that we did a handful of years ago. To pay for 24 hours as opposed to paying all the other election day and all the other days the county holiday, or the county's closed. And so I just have to have approval.
motion for it.
Second.
What's that?
That's great to me.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So using the year, we have a couple large purchases. The big one that's over $1,000 scope is our ESO reporting software for EMS. It's $5,242. That includes all of our, that includes most of the reporting and documentation that we have to do.
Which I seen that in this last month's claims, right? You got that turned in.
No, which part of it went through. Honestly, it may have went through, but I was asked to make sure. I may have done two smaller portions that include our tablet integration. Or part of it.
Maybe that one sounds familiar. It's fine. You,
It may very well be in there, but, that's 5242, so it's over $1,000. Obviously for approval for anything like that.
Is that just an annual fee?
Yeah, it's, we've been using them since 2015 or 16, so.
What does that do for you?
That's an electronic patient care reporting system, so all of our EMS reports, for every patient get turned into that medical, excuse me, our billing company uses it. So it's our legal record for the ambulance call.
Yeah, that's a necessity, I mean, you can't do
A
without
motion
it.
for it.
I'll second that.
all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Let's keep going down the list. So annex update, the space cleaned out, they down there yesterday, getting started on everything, just kind of revisiting that. I talked to Phil, he may have talked to you guys about adding some better lighting to the upper section instead of the throwaway cheap ones that we put in there during COVID. Look at replacing the window on the west wall, it's kind of a continuous leak problem with it. And so I kind of asked Dave to look at that while he was down there, just to see if there was something he thought. If it wasn't the window, if it was the vent above it, and see what we can figure out. Because my concern is that once we build the coroner's office, if that leaks, then it's gonna eventually run the coroner's office new construction. And then on the north building, I don't know if you want me to go ahead and get prices for doors. Still kind of waiting on quotes from electricians on some of the electrical work on the inside of things, if we can make the trench.
Did it say we're still do the trench water permitted, Sean? Is that how you feel, or what's your thoughts?
Yeah,
On the weather break?
actually Caleb sent me his.
Okay, cool.
No, I think we need to go ahead and get quotes on what we already agreed on, the changes we
I
were
don't
doing.
know, I had him look at doors, or if I told him that might be a possibility, so, well, this is a,
Well, that's no problem, just run a line over to it, so.
yeah. Alright, are you okay if I have, you just look at putting a couple lights up on that high section? So we don't have to worry about it from going up, moving on, I guess,
Mhm.
shouldn't have to be an issue. Alright. Rave, we're moving over from code red to rave mass notification. The county highway obviously uses that for phosphate notification also. Since we've had that off and on, we've been able to get grant funds to purchase it. I think 1 year the county. Yeah. And then, yeah, somebody else paid for it. And the last year or two, we didn't get grant funds. Commissioners took it out of the road use fund, since they use it almost, not nearly every day, to notify those that are hauling, so I don't know. The cost of the new system is the same as code red, which is $3,500.
So why are we getting a second one?
We moved away from
Code red.
code red, so we no longer have code red, we're in the middle of transitioning.
No, gotcha.
Only because of mostly a technical issue with code red. Their service was no longer in the United States, so problem.
So we have a service for county highway right now, that can't just be all,
It's all one, yeah, so, January first, we started on the rate, so we didn't pay code at anything, but it's still the same cost moving into this year. With Motorola, so they did knock it down from 4,500 for us since we're probably the user for everything else that we've got within our one zone.
and that's what the county highway is using for the cost.
That's how they
So
said
it's
it.
all just one rate, alright.
All looped into one system. So, what your guys' thoughts are,
Is there money set aside in there again this year for this to be able to take out a county highway, or does it need to be split, or?
If there is,
There's
money there.
There's money there, okay.
is a EMPG fund, or EMPG grant, competitive grant, I think everyone was trying for that, but they're not there, it's only in Disney with the presidential change, but we'll get that grant opened up so we can go for it, so.
Yeah, this is for planning BCD.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
You guys good moving forward?
Yeah.
That way, yeah. Make a motion to pay rave mass notifications out of county highway fund.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
I did not bring, we can talk about the next meeting, every year we discuss, whether we want to increase billing for EMS or, leave it the same. Last year our billing receipts were $911,632.35 on a comprehensive EMS report for you the next meeting.
When's the last time you did an increase?
We kind of staved it off for COVID because,
Over 4 years?
yeah,
What do you suggest?
Typically it's 10%, I think.
yeah, I don't, supposedly the rates for private insurance in Indiana should go up. There's some new billing that goes into effect where they are not allowed to skip out on payments, but we'll see how well that goes in. Medicare's supposed to increase. I think most of our increase that we saw as a part of our billing company to do a good job. And B, more people on Medicare pays 60 to 80% of the bill, and that's what we have to accept, and so I think that amount has gone up a little bit, to help with that, so. I haven't had a chance to pull exactly what we bill, but we bill around $1 million. So, because of Medicare, we accept assignment, and so if they pay 50% of the bill, we have to accept that, we just don't. And so, it's never a winning proposition to get any of that money back, but that's the best we've seen, I think, ever since I've been here since 2011, so. We're getting more money, but we're obviously busy with food, which that also is the same. What really gets us is the amount of people that are on managed Medicaid. So we can get money back for traditional Medicaid, but nobody's on traditional Medicaid, they're all on managed care and all these businesses that brings them in Indiana that has a Medicaid management. So we can't recoup, we might, for an ambulance call, we might get $135, $200. But we can't go after that person because they're on Medicare or even Medicaid, or Medicaid, so. So, I mean, I would recommend where our increase will help us would be, private pay for those people who don't typically have insurance, paying out of pocket. And, obviously the regular insurance like Blue Cross Blue Shield. Yeah, so there would be an increase there. But I think the billing profile will show you what they're paying versus Medicare, Medicaid, all the other managed care services. It's not something you have to decide immediately, but it's something to think about. I can send you the rates and then the profile breakdown. Know who's paying you guys, and who's not. And pretty well details, so.
Why don't you, if you don't mind putting that together for us, so we can all three just, not that I don't think after 4 years it needs an increase. That way we're all on the same.
With perspective, in most county, we're fairly the same, the only one that we're, Tippecanoe County, I believe maybe a little higher because they're hospital funded. Third-party names and Warren County is actually higher because they're built from the hospital. And they built national rates, so they're about or more in some cases, so I don't think our rates are too far off of the average.
Where they should be.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing we've always tussled with on the next line, building the insurance department for inmates. Some have insurance, some don't have insurance. I think the sheriff has an insurance policy for emergencies that helps. But oftentimes those individuals aren't there, and so by the time they're out and we track them down.
Does this include not only medical, but does this include blood draws as well? Or how does that fall?
We worked out trying to do blood draw billing, but the problem is what we bill going after them, we're gonna spend more having Jacob file small claims. We tried to work with the prosecutor to get something put into place, so it's included in the fees, but we never got anything back.
And there's nothing else set up, John, in your, as far as in your department?
No, the only thing we do is our medical insurance, if we can bill the medical insurance, and our team will process that, but there's a lot of times, like when his team just comes over and does vitals, or comes over to draw blood for us, there's no way for them to recoup that money going through the insurance company.
That can't be put towards the inmate on like the blood draw, that there can't be a fee drawn up, I mean, cause they have court costs and everything else, right?
Right, so I mean, we can work on that, right, but right now, there's nothing like that that's in there, and that's always what I brought, when Brian and crew were there, I would bring every now and then, maybe it only happen 3 or 4 or 5 times a year, but we get a bill from whoever their billing provider was, and I'm like, they came over and took vitals to make sure they didn't need to go to the hospital, drew blood, and then they left.
Well, I mean, that's no different when we go on a run and you have a refusal and you come back, I mean, you won't bill for it.
Right.
On those instances, I guess my thing is like on treatments and blood draws, and when you're actually treating it, or you do a transport.
Yeah. When they transport them, we can send that bill to, our quality correctional care team, and if the inmate's got insurance, or they're insured through the state, then they can put that against that, but outside of that, I don't have any other recourse.
Let's look into that blood draw thing.
I'd like to see that go against court costs. We came side by side with it.
And that's something I don't know, John, we tried pushing out there with the prosecutor, just never got anything back. I don't know if that's a prosecutor assessed fee, or if it's assessed by the actual court, or that's put in,
I guess let's get some more.
Typically it's a judge.
I think, what's that?
Typically it's a judge.
Judge.
Assess those.
Okay. Let's reach out to the honorable judge and get some information from him, please. That way everybody's recouped, I mean, that way it's not laying on one party or another.
The one that where we go and do vitals and assess, I think with your permission, I think it'd be okay to waive those, the individual doesn't have insurance or providing care. So some of those are errors on our billing, because if we do certain things that automatically triggers a bill.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, occasionally it's not really one.
Well, that's where I'm going along, when you hit a scene and, you know, you get called out and then they do a sign of refusal on it and you don't bill them for it, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing.
Alright.
That means Jason's time's up.
Yeah.
He still has half a sheet, Joe. But then again, I'm looking at yours too.
I was gonna say, and all of a sudden, this picture had become clear why I seem to be last this time.
Now all of a sudden they're friends.
So you just need to flip this over. It's short.
Sorry, go ahead, Jason.
Vehicle purchase, I think what we've kind of kicked around some different ideas, we're gonna go with probably the SSD Tahoe, if we can get one through Lynn, if the availability is there, if not, the civilian. And that'll allow us to probably step the Suburban down into the supervisors, because there's a need for them to carry a little bit more equipment. And then that's one of the old tile has worked out so well because we did step it down and we've gotten
And it'll go where?
15 years, so, it'll move to the EMA side and the Explorer will go to the county highway. So the price range for the SSB is $55,842. If we can't get that, or there's a long period to order, we might look at the civilian model build, which is 62,000. I'll hold out, see if we can't save the funds.
Was that budgeted in for this year for 25?
Yeah.
It's basically the same as Clinton County Highway.
Update on staff, and we're normal numbers, but we still have an extra medic and one entire month
That's final.
on paper. So,
Okay.
our termination helps ease that burden a little bit, so.
Okay.
So Mark will figure that out.
All right.
And then the last thing is about the board, and when
We need to get, and if it has to be, I don't know, we need to ask these two, but if it has to be an evening that works better for them to meet.
Is it all possible to do it when we're here?
Mhm.
Or, you know, for a meeting, that would be better. That day anyway, cause I know I'll be,
Yeah, and I just, and which John and I both agreed, we're gonna work everything around your schedule, so that,
Well, Tuesdays are good, so if we could do it a Tuesday evening.
and I'm fine with that.
I'd like to meet over there.
I would too, I wanna go through the building, I wanna see what we're dealing with, I think you guys do too, so we can get this problem solved and everybody's on a first name basis with each other, we know where we stand.
Okay, when do you wanna do it? Anytime?
Whatever works, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get a hold of her.
I'm a people person.
You are a people person that likes cows.
Whatever works, yeah. Then, last thing is the ambulance purchase, we've got an option on what I would call a much better truck with much better options. It's in the build process as opposed to the one that we got, but obviously there's a difference in final price. And so I can see the specs and explain, but I think the best thing would be, because of the cost difference, is to maybe be able to show you the difference between what we currently have, that we're replacing, which would be the same, versus what the new one would be, which is like the one, which is what is spring. The custom build process versus the new truck, which we have, but, it would be a delay with the other truck, instead of getting it in June of this year, we would switch contracts and do this early part of it.
Basically, when these orders go out, you're looking at a year and a half build time. So you've got it on a 3-year rotation.
Right. We've been fortunate with the trucks that we've got, it was an unfortunate incident with the tech one, but that helped with the rotation, so maintenance wise and chassis wise, we're doing really well. So it's not flagged as an emergency, if we wanna look at getting an actual quality truck that will last a little bit longer with the spring, and much better application.
Yeah.
But it would stave off the purchase this year, but there's definitely an increase in cost. So that just depends on what all the pros and cons are. So my staff will tell you, we do a regular spring, and this custom build truck with PL Customs, I think will increase our time to replacement, at least a year probably, because we don't have chassis problems, we don't have any problem with tires. It'd be easier to show you the differences in the trucks.
Won't you, yeah, we get that
And also
layout.
the numbers.
Yep, swing with the numbers.
Okay. I'll send those to you. Last thing is, Morgan. I think is planning for the ADA
Yes.
stuff.
Shepherd and Stevens, both.
Whichever.
Yes,
she's going on.
all of them.
So one of the things that got dropped last year because of the 4-H changes was the Safe Place program.
Correct, that didn't need brought up, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Beth
we
was-
kind of looked at different lines. setup as far as the ADA side pay versus or what we would look at, but I'd like to keep her around, and she's agreed to do the Safe Place program also. So, I think the discussions is if I could, pull 4,000 out of our UMass budget to the Safe Place program. I don't know if we can match that with money out of, capital improvement fund to have her around to do that, and she's gonna continue doing the UMass uploads for the reporting software that we've got too. So, but that was my discussion, just talking back and forth with Beth to see what funds were where, so that'll give us time to also put it in the budget for next year. But, so, I don't know what your thoughts are.
So what's it cost, 4,000, and we have to match it?
If you got it, I'll take 4,000 out of my, budget.
Where is our safe place?
Well, they've all been taken down, all the signs have been taken down, so most government buildings,
Strasburg,
yeah. There's criteria that have to be.
It really needs to be either the jail or your building, cause that's the only place,
It has to be
there's
spent.
gonna be somebody staffed.
Our building, the jail, the town halls, I think, were all here.
There won't be anybody there, though.
So is it ever used?
The hotline has been used. I don't have the statistics whether or not it's more of an option more than anything, so. The program is, I don't know how long they're in the program for, it's been around for 4 or 5 years prior to this, so. And the other idea was I hit the foundation up to see if they would pay for half of that, so. Well, ideally, possibly, so.
There is sufficient funds in that line. I know
for capital or all the edit?
the edit. So, the recovery fee versus what's being paid out of there, and then now that close, but there is still additional training.
I mean, what's the actual workload involved with it? I mean,
Most of it's the training, of the locations, takes the training, and then I have to go to the schools and make a presentation. Each grade level up to the perfect grade level, so. There was much more to it than what I thought based on the binder we got from us.
Yeah, I thought you just, here you go. and-
Right, here's a sign, go to it. There's more training, there's annual training that's required, there's a lot more to it than what I originally thought also, so. But.
I guess I would just like to know more about it before we say
Yeah.
here or nay.
we got the flash drive, I can send you all those stuff from it. So.
Yeah, if we can have all that before the next meeting,
Alright.
we can make a decision on it then.
Good. I'll see you too.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, alright.
Sheriff,
Yes, sir.
step on up here.
See, I see it was strategically placed in the meeting agenda. Thanks, Brian. All right, I'm gonna hammer through this. Most of it's information for you guys, or it's things we talk about and talk about again in the community. So the first one I was embarrassed about because for the last 2 years, we have a P card that we use for all sorts of things. And, I have had inmates that have been watched for anywhere from 3 to 7 days down at the hospital. And until yesterday, when I got up at 4 AM to move COs because we were babysitting an inmate, one of the COs finally said, man, 12 hours is a long time to go without eating much. And I realized that we were not providing them a way to be able to either get Burger King through DoorDash or order something from the kitchen downstairs without using their own money. And so, I talked to Beth a little bit and brainstormed some, and so I think the best way, if you guys would approve, is just to raise our P card, amount by $500. We probably, about a half a dozen times a year, we're down at the hospital. It could be a little more, a little less
the year, but, I don't anticipate spending a lot for that, but I'm guessing that we'll spend somewhere around $300 or $400, $500 on food, so that my corrections officers who are spending 12 and 14 hours sitting in a chair next to an inmate that's shackled to a bed could actually order lunch. So,
And that's all that card's used for?
yeah, that's all that would be used for. So I asked for two things, right? So one would be, I asked for a separate card with $500 limit on it.
You want a separate card with a
That's
500,
why
so,
originally it
The
asked
bank,
Beth.
yes, he originally asked that, but when I talked to Audrey, she said the bank won't do another card, it'll just be the same account and an increase on the card.
cause right now there's a
with an
$1,500
additional-
limit.
With an additional card, so it'll be the same card, just an additional card,
Right, so that card would.
same card number.
We'd manage that like we do our other fee
So
cards.
Nora card would stay with her at the
And-
jail,
and
and
that card
this
would
card
go
would
to
go
Christie.
with them to go to the hospital, so.
Yep,
so-
so whenever we send an inmate to the hospital, that card would go with them so they can buy lunch or dinner or breakfast if they're still there. 4 AM.
And this is
whatever.
strictly for the COs.
Yeah, it's strictly for the COs. You know, I've got COs that'll travel down to, Vincennes, to the jail down there to pick up an inmate, and it's a 7-hour round trip. It's not long enough to get the travel card, but it's short enough that they're gonna have to eat once while they're out there.
Okay.
So that's what, so I'd like approval to be able to raise, the amount by $500 and get a second, P card for the jail commander to be used by our COs who are stuck in hospital for 12 hours and we're traveling on day trips to get them.
I'm good with it.
Okay. Does that need to be voted on?
Yes.
Make a motion to get the second card to be raised to $500 to be used by the COs when they are out either on travel or stuck at the hospital watching inmates.
Second that.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
And also, if, like I said, it'll take some time to get the card, if you guys approve him to use the travel visa
Travel
card.
visa for now,
In
just as
that.
long as there's itemized in,
Yeah.
receipts with
Yeah.
it so that they can track it.
You got it. Second one is, just need your, thoughts, or we're not ready to get there yet, but eventually we're gonna have to offload all the historical books and stuff and all that out of the jail over there. No matter what we do with it, right? We gotta get it out of there because it's sitting in there molding and wet and whatnot, and so, would like to, and obviously we're not gonna do it here in January or February when it's sub-zero, but when we do get a break in the weather, I've got, our staff in the jail that we use back in the kitchen that I'm going to take over there and manage while they start boxing some of that stuff up. Get our trustees to do a little work over there and start loading up, a cube or a Connex box or something that when we get loaded, then our county highway can come pick it up with some forks on the front end load or something, put on a trailer and we can take somewhere that we can put it inside it.
How much space are we talking about? I mean, how
Uh,
big?
Yeah, so you need to walk over there, I'll show you, but they're down in that basement, there is an entire room, probably half the size of this room, that is lined with old leather-bound books that are probably about that thick, from back in the early 1900s, where they were, all of the people that were booked in, all of the activity of the jail, and all that is in those books. And right now, they're sitting on shelves that are sagging like this, and they're all old and dated. So, I'm gonna say, I said, my guess was about a 12-foot box, something like that, that you can walk into, that you can walk into, and you start stacking it at the back and come to the front, and then set it to the side somewhere where it's, at very least covered and hopefully temperature controlled, so we don't create humidity inside of it and further deteriorate or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's no different than sitting in there now.
Right, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
already there.
Right, so I just need to be able to find some space to get it out. And then whenever the time is right this summer and I can get a historical society, we can go over there, we can figure out what's the historical value that they wanna keep, what's significant that I wanna keep, because what I'd like to do at some point is take some of the old leather gun belts and the helmets and some of the things that the deputies used back in the 30s and 40s and 50s and put them in some sort of display out here in the main hallway, so that when everybody comes in to go to the auditor's office or something, and they walk by there and see some history of the Benton County Sheriff's Office. And we've got some wall space out there that, you know, when we get to that point, we'll talk to you guys about, see what we do with it. That's one way. I don't have room in the jail, so there's a lot of jails that have that extra room they can do that in, but I don't have that, right? So my next best option is to take advantage of what we got and try to do that. So that's part of the reason I want to go. I have already taken all the pictures of the old sheriffs out of there because they were curling on the edge. And some of them were black and white, and they're now dry and hidden, put away in my office. But all of that stuff in there, there's a big glass showcase over there that's just full of stuff. So just looking for your thoughts on, do we have somebody local that we can rent one off? When do you want to rent it? I'm not really planning on being over there when it's 0 degrees inside that jail.
The ones I know about are either the 20s or the 40 footers, so we'd have to look, about either get a hold of Pat, Doyle, cause he'd probably be our hookup. I bought some from John Mowry. I bought those ones that's got the 4 doors down the side. I don't think that's gonna be too big for this. So we'll just have to, we're probably gonna have to get a hold of Pat and John and see what's available and what the cost of it is. Yeah, if you wanna make contact with him and see dimension wise and what we're looking at.
Okay.
I don't know where we're gonna be able to put it inside.
Yeah, I didn't know whether there was any space down
The
the
Quonset
annex.
building, it can be controlled, but be inside.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking for, at the very least, keep it out of the sun, keep it out of the weather.
And it's no different than being over there now.
Right, right,
No,
what I was
nothing.
trying to do was stop the deterioration.
Right. Okay.
So, all right, anybody have Pat's phone number?
I do, I'll send it to you.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that. So this year, every year, in my effort to be able to update and upgrade our equipment, so that no sheriff that runs into a situation where everything is completely out of sorts. This year, we are issuing our deputies, new Mossberg shotguns, and the old shotgun will be retrofitted to be used as less lethal, using beanbag and CS gas rounds. The unfortunate incident up in Newton County brought that to my attention, where we do not have a less lethal option inside our trucks other than the tasers that the guys carry. So we get into a barricaded hostage situation, and we get into something like they had up there in the vehicle. I wanna make sure my guys and gals have, the right tools to be able to deal with something, 20 yards down, without having to use lethal force. So, that's already in my budget, that was already there. That's just an update for you guys, so you know what we're doing. They should be here in about 60 days. The less lethal, kits that come, the orange, we will switch out the stocks on the old guns, and they're bright orange, it says less lethal on it. And the forearms, the others are all bright orange, and we will carry those in the trunks of the truck, so that when we train, you're going for less lethal, you're grabbing the one out of the box in the back, and if you're going for lethal, you're grabbing what's in the truck. So, those are memory.
If you ever shoot at me, use the less lethal.
Do what?
If you ever shoot at me, use the less lethal.
Promise me. You want the gas or
No, the
beanbag?
beanbags.
Beanbag.
Okay.
It's a silly question.
Yes, sir.
So when you're in a situation and they grab the orange one because they wanna be less lethal, and then all of a sudden, 5 seconds
There
later,
should be
it
some-
escalates.
So they should, so when we do that, hopefully when we have a barricaded hostage, there's more than one there, right? So if you've got people up on the line that have lethal options, we expect the deputy to grab their less lethal option and use it. That was what the level of force needed to help the situation. Deputies will always be armed with, obviously, with their handgun, right? But, if there's only one deputy there, they will always have their lethal option with them, and their taser is their first round of less lethal. This would be, in that situation, they didn't have it up on the line, they ran back to get it, and they came back up, and realized it wasn't loaded, and run back to the truck again, and so I'm gonna make sure that we never run it.
Right.
Trucks are running good. I will tell you that my guys check the oil on a regular basis, because they're all farm kids. And, we found out they burn a quart of oil about every 2,500 miles, so I reached out to Chevy up there, and they did some digging and pulled up a couple of Waltons from GM that said, it's an acceptable oil consumption for GM trucks that either idle a lot or outside of that, we're probably, well, we are gonna go from changing our oil, up near 3,500 miles, we're gonna go 2,500 to 3, because we're burning court in 2,500. And it's going through that, the cylinder past the rings, I wanna make sure it's always clean, new, good oil moving that engine to, and do not wanna burn out the ring and scorch your piston in that truck, so that's just that.
Was it just on one of them or all?
All of them.
All of them.
How often are we rotating tires when we're doing services?
So we try to do that every other oil change. And that's something some of the guys are good about, some of the guys aren't. One of the things that I'd like to do, and I have not seen the list yet, you guys may have already voted on it, but I'd like to add Farney's to our approved vendor list. They do an incredible job for us down here, and we use Eder tires, and I'd like to use them as the other because we try to get them on the state bid price. And we ran into a problem the other day where I needed a set of tires on trucks, and we went out there because that's our approved vendor, right, from you guys. And they could only get Firestones, and it was about $1,000 a tire. And so I'd like to be able to have an option to go look at different. So I don't know whether, I haven't seen that list yet, but if you guys are getting ready to, if you wouldn't mind approving Farney's as a approved vendor too, because they will also change oil tires as well. And,
But we also use Keith, right?
we use Keith as, but he doesn't rotate the tires.
But he does his oil changes, but he does not do the rotation.
Yeah, he does not do rotation. He won't do a lot of those things anymore. He always tells me when to go there. Outside of simple brakes, and things like that. So we use simple brakes and all that. So Keith is always number one.
Okay.
But when we need tires, then that's when we're looking to our local folks to see who can give us the best deal and save that. So that's kind of where we are on that. But that's the update on that Chevy inspection. And I'm a little skeptical about it. I think that's just the way they cheat and say, we got a problem, we don't want to, until it gets so bad. Jail inspection's coming up on the 16th. Last 2 years have been done smoothly. I'm really be able to do it this year, so just FYI, next time we meet, we'll have a good report for you. County Highway will be finished digging out the dirt and bushes on the west side of the jail. We have time. That's on the list of things to do when you're short on Monday, and then we're gonna truck and backhoe and 2 or 3 guys that need to do something. Set up a meeting with water utilities, discuss what type of sewer grinder we need in the jail.
So that ain't what's coming in?
In the jail renovation spring with the county highway, digging all that out, and then we're
Is it?
doing walls, fixing walls, doing all that. And we'll talk about it right now, we're paying $500 a month. Okay. $250, I'm paying $250 to clean that basket out once a week out there. And when you go for a year, you get like 8 per sewer grinder. So I'm gonna start that conversation with those gentlemen, and we're gonna start coming up with some things so I can share that information with small working group and then
Thank you.
council on this.
Jordan's in out to Arkansas.
On that grinder, how does that stop you from having to clean out a basket?
So
Like the bigger stuff that isn't gonna go in, it's gonna go down and it's plugged around the grinder.
Right, so my understanding, so I talked to Jasper County, Newton County, and Sheriff down Warren County, and they all have grinders, because I was thinking, are we like the only, is this a normal thing or not a normal thing? And they're like, no, we can't believe you don't have a grinder. So there is a 2-part system in there, but the grinder takes care of 90% of everything. It also depends on the kind of grinder you get, they said. So that's why I want to investigate that, to see what all the costs are, what it does. And again, knowing it comes out of here and it comes out of the jail, we know what's going to go into it. The right side, whatever you get, so if there is, somebody somehow flushes a book down the toilet, right? Where does that go and how does that land and how is that supposed to? So there'll be more to come on that, that we just wanna make sure you guys are on the loop. And
Yeah,
do
well, it
whatever.
makes sense to have one, I mean, that's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Having to do it the way it is now.
And just a couple more quick things from there that I came on when I finished this. We've got 10 candidates for 3 open corrections officer positions, so I am interviewing those tomorrow and Thursday, so I'm hopefully optimistic that we will get what we need out of that. It's the first time since I've been sure that I've had more than 1 candidate for the CO, so pretty pleased with that. And last but not least on that side, as far as training goes, and I think I mentioned this to you, so Elizabeth for the deputies on the road, there's scenarios for courthouse security, there's scenarios for the jail, for use of force, the use of less lethal force and de-escalation. So we're gonna be able to knock out, use of force training and de-escalation training mandated by the state here in January using this piece of equipment. And I've also invited our partners up at Newton County and down in Warren County. We're gonna have it for 10 days, and I told them there should be enough time in there that they can have it for like a day and a half each, and then we'll take it. I'm gonna bring in all our marshals, everybody that we work with, and I'm gonna bring in, I'm gonna invite you guys down and invite the council down so you can see what we're doing in our training, so you can actually see what it is to be in a shoot, de-escalation type training situation.
What about for like school
Yeah,
situations?
Ben, both those guys are coming by, then they're aware of it. So I'm excited about that.
Do we do any other kind of training at all for the school for the what if?
So we've been doing, active threat training
Shooter, yeah.
out there. We tried to mix that up after the last 2 years prior to coming in, it was like the same thing over and over, my guys were kind of grumbling because it was just, it's the same grind, right, nothing new, so. Working with, Ben, working with, EJ Moyers, who's our non-trainer guy that we bring in, and we're going to mix that up. We need to do one in one of the grade schools. We haven't done it as far as I know, it's already been.
I'd like to see that like
Yep.
frequently, so it's not even thought about, should it happen.
And we've got part of the, what I call blue gun, it shoots paintballs. So we do have, it's sort of an active opportunity, it gives you real-time feedback, as to what you do when you do that. We just have to be able to do it at a place the school will allow us to be able to clean, when we do paint splats off their walls and stuff, so yes, that will come in soon. Shifting hats. I guess I'll ask any other questions about the jail stuff. Okay, shifting hats go to fairground. Brody Fox and I attended last weekend Fair Festival Convention in Indianapolis. Made some good connections, some vendors. We met with a couple of fairs that are our side. Got some good, we got some cool things. Like for example, one of the changes we're gonna make coming this year is last year we had a problem with families that brought their electric go-karts or their UTVs to move hay and feed and pieces of equipment for show day from their trailers way out over, well, in the night, the kids would jump on it and ride around and a couple of times, and then go. So this year, when we register a camp or bring your stuff in, we're gonna have a registration process for those cars, so that if you get a complaint and it's car 5, I go right to the source instead of having to hunt the entire fairground for something. And it's a risk management issue. So that was really good. Put some fair facility or fair goals for this year. Boy Scout barn, they're needing to do the south side of that, about a third to half the shingles are gone off of it. If we don't do something with that this year, it will and it just needs a roof. So, we're gonna look to see how we can manage to do that. Our grandstand food stand needs a new metal roof and rehab on the inside, sink, the countertops, and like our box really shot. They're falling off the wall in the middle of my yards, and a big chunk of what we're gonna do this coming year, next year, is out there at grandstands. So there's a lot going on. And we're gonna finish the track around, I should say finish the fence around the racetrack. One of the things that we talked about last year with Brian Creed was, we've got a donor who's, this endemic who's contributed a significant amount of money to the racetrack last year was $25K. This year she's gonna pay to finish that fence all around, which is about 36. We talked about honoring her brother because she did this to honor her brother, who is very much into go-karts and homemade go-karts and doing all that, so. We started a conversation with Brian last year, and I wanted to bring it up to Steve, that she is going to, on that fencing that's gonna go in. And I want to talk to you about, naming the grandstand or the track, in honor of her brother. She's willing to pay for all the signage and all of everything, not a dime will be spent by us. But I'd like to, get your thoughts on that before I ask you, before I make a motion. Are you guys, is that something that you think is?
Is this being presented to your fair board?
So Fair Board's already been there and they agreed to it. So it's a building that, it's a facility you guys own. It's kind of like what we did when we went through the goat and
Right.
sheep on the whole family.
Brody done one named after him.
No, I
You asked
Rick, I
him?
said, Rick, he's like, I don't want my name anywhere, I just wanna be part of this, I'm like, okay. So, maybe if we name grandstands after, Billy, maybe we'll name that dirt track after you, Rick, one of these days. Cause he spent thousands of hours out there. But,
I'm fine with it.
I'd like to be able to do that, if you wanna make a motion, then I'll be able to go back and say that, you guys affirmed it, and then we will work with Mrs. Demick, to do all the work.
Motion.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Excuse me.
Motion carried.
Okay, rental agreements for the fairground going forward is not something to decide today, it's something to talk about. But our fairgrounds is beginning to become a destination again. With the new building going up, we're going to want to rent it out. We've got requests to use the, what I call the, night owl facility, it's the old Methodist booth. Because we've done a lot of concrete, done a lot of work, people want to rent it for family reunions and things like that. We got the whole family, get together, they want to use
Memorial.
it, yeah, and so on and so forth, so. You know, my question to you guys is, and I wanna put some thought into this, I'm throwing it out there and I'm gonna put some ideas together next time we meet, so we can have this conversation. But I'm gonna do a little looking around to find out what smaller counties are charging people to use their facilities. I'm gonna find out from Beth what we charge to use the annex, and so on and so forth, but it is time, because I think.
I agree, there needs to be a fee.
I probably opened that up 5 times last year for different events over there, and they're using our electricity, they're using the water, they're using the facility. We're going over there and picking up the trash. I mean, they're bagging it and setting it out there, I've always used to burn it. But we need to do something going forward, so. Putting that on the radar, and, we're gonna have an income from that once it goes, and we can talk about what to do with it, but I'm hoping that, we can take that income and put that into a separate account, and then pour all that back into the fairgrounds for repair.
That's what I was gonna say, put it, repair
If
something there.
I gotta replace, like right now, this year, we have to replace the fan on the north end of the goat and sheep barn, it's dead. And it's, the bearing's completely gone out, we've repaired it like 4 times over the last 5 or 6 years, and it's shot. So, you know, that's something that's not in the fair budget. You know, go out and spend $1,500, buy it and have pay Lyle and put it up there and install it, so having some sort of fund where all of that money from all the rentals going into that isn't pouring back into the fairgrounds makes sense. And just wanna throw that out there in the radar for our next conversation. Getting down to the end, the new building, ready for foam installation on the wall, so my question to you guys, and I have no idea, and this is mainly for you and all of you, should we wait till Nusco puts the gas?
Yeah, it's gotta be a controlled temperature.
Okay,
Yep, that guy right there is gonna take care of it, cause apparently there was some balls dropped and things didn't get followed through, or somebody, whatever. With the email that we got the other day, it was discussed this morning in the meeting that Sean is gonna follow up
okay,
and find out where we stand and what we need to do. I believe he's also gonna work with Matt on figuring out how to get the water line trenched in there,
okay,
because I guess that's a mess,
okay. So, yeah, cause last time, you know, I met over there with Mike and met with, the guy that's going over there.
Or Jim Turner.
Yeah, Jim Turner.
But on the NIPSCO side, my understanding the day after, or the day we were at the, highway Christmas party, Mike was going down there to meet with the gas company, or NIPSCO Gas then.
Yeah.
Well, from that point on, nothing happened.
So, my understanding was after that was the guy came out and the gas line was already there from the old building. And NIPSCO said it shouldn't be too much of an issue, pick it up right there and take it to the building. And that's, so it was back in NIPSCO's hands.
Well, yeah.
Last time they,
There's more to it.
okay, good, cause that's the last that I got filled in on it.
That's a cluster.
Okay. So you and I can get together, cause I need to figure out where we're at.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call that guy today and, and start the whole process over.
Oh, are you kidding me?
So we're
We
looking, maybe
don't-
5 weeks.
Yeah, we don't wanna be liable. There's two ways this can be done. And one way, the county and the fairgrounds is completely liable for anything once it's installed.
Okay.
But
Right.
NIPSCO needs to
They own
be
it, it's their,
liable for their stuff,
agreed,
so.
okay,
Mike didn't know any better, so.
okay,
I'm not saying it's anybody's fault, it just,
Right.
it happened,
okay,
so.
we'll just catch up and.
Yeah, so we gotta,
We'll pick it up and kick it.
we gotta start the process over.
Okay.
And I didn't know this, we gotta get 3-phase over there too.
Yeah, three-phase electric
That
for the air
should
handlers.
It should already be, so we met with the engineer out there, he said 3 phases on there, and they put it on their list of, get it done, they're gonna bring it over the road and then drop it in the ground. And I've got an email on that.
Yeah. Do you wanna follow up with him, or you want me to talk to him, or?
Yeah, we gotta confirm it, because we don't know if it's happening or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can be.
So, yeah, so we'll get on that, and, I'll take care of that part, cause I got all the emails and.
Yeah, 'cause this is the first I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I didn't know any better.
We let it, that was, gosh, that was been done since October.
Okay.
So I got emails between him that said this is.
All I know is if you don't tell them NIPSCO guys exactly what's going on, they're just like, okay.
Yeah. So, we got that, so, yeah, and then I did mention to Jason, I didn't mention, I was gonna have him mention to you guys, last year, there is a state law that mandates that we have to be able to put people in here to be able to, produce the public meeting online. So, I gotta look into, if we get ready to rehab the camera system and find out, cause Ryan crew that I asked to find a way to use the current system in the building and attach to it, add this piece of equipment to this room that would again push that out, so that was a Jason thing, but he didn't mention it, so I thought I would.
We've got a new system right there.
That's what I was thinking.
So, it's pretty specific what it says, so, but Jason was right on that.
I think it's July.
Yeah.
July 1 is the mandate.
Yeah, so we'll pull that back out and dust that off and come back with something, but we'll probably just email it to you so you guys can see what the rules are around it.
And then where does it get posted? Where does it get posted? Is it on a county?
It goes, yeah, it should, I believe.
You can choose.
How it goes up and where it goes.
There's a statute on it that lays it out with the requirements.
The state got involved and told all 92 counties how to do it, so. And then I'm gonna shoot you guys an email just so when you come in, he'll talk to you about insurance coverage for fairgrounds and the facilities and all that. At some point, we'll always be stuck with K&K because they're the only ones that insure, like the go-kart track races and the traffic rules and all that stuff, but like, right now, our fair board budget was zeroed out prior to the end of the year, so what we typically pay for, when we come in the new year, we pay for the, insurance for the board. It covers them, somebody gets food poisoning, they want to sue us or whatever, and then we cover them that all the way up. But the one thing that I want to talk about, we also insure the gates and the fans over there, and that's about $2,000 a year that we pay to do that. So all barn gates, goat barn, sheep barn gates, those portable gates for cattle, the fans that hang in the buildings and all that. You know, I'm not quite sure how the fair board ended up owning them, and it's not part of the facility, but that seems like that would be, if I just have to, if the board just have to vote, has to say, we agree that this is county property, so it can be put on your insurance list, that's the.
Thank you.
That seems to make sense to me. I mean, we'll take care of the rest of it, right? So that's us. So that, like, you know, if that building burns down, you know, they've got those things separately insured outside of the coverage, so I'm gonna put something together, I'll send it to all of you guys, with some sort of thoughts and ideas and prices, numbers and all that. Other than that,
What's the rest of your day look like?
dude, this is my real life, this is it, this is what we do every day.
I'd like to get a next door and see how much stuff we're talking about.
Me too.
Stuff. Oh,
In
yeah.
the old jail.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do that.
We need to talk to Letitia real quick first.
Okay, you want me to be over there?
We'll just come see you when we're done.
Okay. I'll go get the door unlocked somewhere.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
I think it's anything, is there anything that needs to be during the meeting? No, okay. Oh, we need to do payroll and, or, claims and pay at once. I'll make a motion to accept pay at once and monthly claims as reviewed for the commissioners.
I'll second that. I don't have a pen.
Hold on.
Before you adjourn,
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is he on the agenda again?
I'm from the town of Fowler now.
Oh,
He,
now, okay.
he likes to leave and come back.
I go back and get different ideas.
I wanna do that too.
Alright, you have the floor.
They're gonna do the land survey for that project.
Out here?
Yeah, next week.
Okay.
I just wanted to update you where we're at.
Okay.
The holiday's coming,
What's this for?
The,
quantum
quantum
corridor building.
out here at the county highway. So originally they were wanting to build this on the east side of town, right inside a bunch of residential,
Oh, is that the,
yes, the data center for Crane and,
So, I figured, we had a meeting last night. Got an update from them, so I
This
figured.
yep. Okay, good. Yeah, let's keep moving forward with that.
next week you said?
So I'll be out there soon.
That's not like in-
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Oh, this one's right there.
Shut
Just,
up.
the only thing I ask, and I think we've had this conversation, as far as ownership on that thing,
On the building,
yes,
oh, as far as who.
Who-
the final-
who
It
owns
was
it?
understanding that Purdue would not be the owner,
or we're not gonna come to an agreement,
so,
because there's no reason they should get out having to pay the taxes.
yeah. But new owner, new president. Yeah. It never happened, I would assume it will. You know,
Okay.
so,
Okay,
yeah.
that'll work. Anything else?
Yeah.
Okay, I make a motion to close,
Here's they got mine.
close the first meeting of our new career.
I like it.
Second that motion.
All motion, or all in favor,
Aye.
signify by saying aye. Oh, I got one.
Other room quick.
Yeah, you go do that, and Miss Letitia?
Huh?
Huh?
What?
You guys don't have your lunch money?
No, it's canceled till the 22nd.